Well, good morning, church family. Something that I mentioned this last Sunday as we sent off Pastor Eric and Jessica and Autumn and Barbie on vacation was, that we want to wish them rest and refreshment when they're away. But something else was that the church ought to be praying for actively our elders and our pastor. And I think that as a church, we should seek to grow more in our understanding of not just why we need to pray for them, but also what we should pray for them. John Piper was asked about this. A great thing that he said was, I don't think there is anything our people could render to us that we would be of greater use than to earnestly intercede with God on our behalf. And we want God to multiply the usefulness of our pastors, of our elders, and so to that end, there are numerous biblical helps for us to do just that. From Psalm 119, asking the Lord to give them an inclination for his word, not for money, not for power, not for fame, but to open their eyes to see wonderful things when we read his word. From Matthew 26, we want to pray for their purity. Defiled minds, dull spiritual sight, and they make a pastor weak. So it's crucial that not just their bodies, but their minds be kept pure. From 1 Timothy chapter 4, we want to pray for biblical doctrinal faithfulness, that our elders would keep a close watch on the teaching, as Paul tells Timothy. From Ephesians 6 and 1 Peter 3, we want to pray for solid, joyful, Christ-exalting marriages where dad is leading in regular family worship and discipleship and leading his wife in prayer well. From Acts 18, we want to pray for boldness in their witnessing to our city of Lubbock. That the truth and the beauty and the necessity of Christ would be the only way to escape God's wrath, to be reconciled to himself. We want to pray for their witness. In Joshua 13, we often don't think of this. We want to pray for their energy. Pray that our elders experience wisdom, experience strength and zeal, and not laziness. And I pray that they would dream and create and visualize how our church can be more effective in proclaiming the gospel. And from Acts chapter 16, we want to pray for converting power, that their efforts in counseling, in praying, in leading, in planning, in teaching, and preaching are not powerless, but that they have eternal effect. Asking God to open hearts and save people through their ministry. From Acts chapter 6, we want to pray that they would be instruments of a great global awakening, of biblical, doctrinal, Christ-exalting, God-centered reformation in the church. We don't want to just pray small prayers. We want to pray big prayers. Let's be a people that does that. And so, as a church who wants to care for our pastor and our elders, we want to be mindful that there's an extraordinary battle on every level. The marriage is embattled. The children are beleaguered. The health is besieged. The faith is tormented. The gifts of ministry are challenged because, just like they are in a spiritual war. And something we've been studying the last few nights or few weeks at the midweek small group on Wednesday nights was that how Paul makes so plain in Ephesians chapter 6 that we're not wrestling against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the world rulers of this present darkness. And right there, among all of the spiritual armor that we're supposed to put on, he says we ought to be praying at all times in the Spirit with all prayer and with all supplication. And so pastors and elders, they desperately need their people to intercede on their behalf, that God would protect them, that God would provide for their every need, that he would guard their families, that he would guard their marriages, and that he would make them mighty in the Holy Spirit. That's what we want to pray for our leaders. I just want to make mention of a few things that are coming up within the next week as well. On Sunday morning, we're going to have Stephen Butts, who will be preaching from Job 1 and 2 in the morning service. We've been talking about an outreach event in our community next month in July in lieu of having a VBS this summer. And so there's a planning meeting that's right after church at 1 o'clock at the building. Should be enough time to grab lunch and then come back if you're interested in being a part of that. Craig and Kaylee Harris will be leading that. In the evening service, once a month, is this upcoming Sunday night, and Peter Poff will be beginning our study in 1 Samuel, looking at Hannah's faithfulness in chapters 1 and 2. And then right after the evening service, about 7:30, we're all going to come over to Strong Park, which is right over here by the church offices, and we're going to set up in the field a softball game for the whole family, for any age that would like to. And if there are any younger kids that don't want to play, the playground's right over there, and of course the canopies are over there for some shade as well. But it'll be a great time of fellowship. Right after the game, about an hour or so, we're going to have setting up ice cream so that we can fellowship with one another. And quite honestly, if there are other families or any folks that are at the playground or that join in the game, it could be an opportunity for outreach as well. And then I want to make mention of next Saturday on July 4th. Annually, Donnie and Diane Barbie have folks over to their house for fireworks, for hot dogs, and they're going to do that again this year. I'm going to send out within the next day or so an email that will have sign-up details so that we can know about who's coming, a head count for everyone, and as well as different information on what's going to be going on. If you want to bring something, it should be a great time of fellowship before we meet again on July 5th on Sunday. So with that being said, remember to keep praying for Eric and Jessica and Autumn and Aaron as they are on vacation this week. We're definitely looking forward to seeing them back with us. But for the time being, we'll see you this upcoming Sunday. Lord bless.